It's time once again for a weekly update from the city of New Hope. The mayor is with us, Kathi Hemken. Welcome, Mayor. You are looking like you're in your fall colors today.
I am. I'm in my Minnesota sweatshirt.
Very nice. Well,
I guess summer's over.
yeah, unfortunately, a little bit cooler out there now. Let's talk about some of the things happening in the city. Let's begin with the budget. I know a lot of work has gone into the budget process, and a few points that you wanted to touch on as you get towards the closing time of the budget discussion for 2021.
Well, we've been working on this since February. This is a long process. One of the things I wanted to point out to viewers is we hire a lot of consultants, and we do that because in some cases it's cheaper. We don't have to pay vacations and holidays, and we just pay for what we use. So we have 5 or 6 consultants that we use: engineering, the attorney, AEM, which is a financial consultant. And these guys come in and they augment our staff. So when we have other things that staff maybe not be able to handle, that's when we use the consultants. Last year, the consultant budget was pretty high because we were still using the engineering staff for the pool design. This year now in the 2020 budget is considerably lower, but it's still the 2021 budget, but it's still, we do that not to get rid of people, but so that we get better service from those that we hire.
And my guess would be, Mayor, that this is something that's common amongst cities here in the suburban area as well, that consultants are a key part of their teams.
It is. It is.
Let's move on to talk about a topic that maybe doesn't get too much headlines and not too glamorous: inflow and infiltration. Explain what that is and why that's important for residents.
Well, the pipes that run, the sanitary sewer pipes that run under the ground and come from your house and go to the main pipe out in the street. Very often they'll get little leaks in them, and they'll get tree branches or tree roots in them. And then the water, when it rains hard, the water inflows into that pipe. Well, we get charged by Hennepin County by the amount of water that goes through that sanitary sewer. And if we're putting clear water into that, we of course get charged more. So we get penalized for having that. So we're now looking at the system that they're doing in Golden Valley to see if that would work in New Hope, and see if we can somehow reduce our it's called I&I, somehow we can reduce our I&I payment to the Met Council so that we wouldn't have to pay quite so much. So it's just something we're looking at and see if it makes sense to do it here in New Hope.
All right, sounds like more information to come as that develops. Let's talk a little bit about the Hennepin Recycling Group, something the city of New Hope is a part of, and tell us a little bit about the look towards organics.
Well, our staff is looking at the verbiage in the recycle contract, just changing a few words, making sure it's what we want it to be. But the other thing they're looking at is we got a mandate from Hennepin County that said all of our garbage haulers have to offer organic recycling. Now, I believe that would probably be a cost to the resident, an extra cost if they wanted to do that. I'm not sure about that part yet, but they're looking at how they're going to do that, and talking to the haulers, making sure that they're able to offer that. And it's mandated by the county, so we have to do something about it.
All right, again, another item with more to come and information on the city's website, newhopemn.gov.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the Business Networking Group, a great group in the city that gathers on a regular basis. What's coming up next?
The next meeting is October 7th at 8:30 in the morning. We're looking for a host, and all that would really mean is somebody that wants to talk about their business for 5 or 10 minutes with 10, 15 people that belong to the Business Networking Group. So it's not hard to be a host. They can call City Hall and tell them they want to be a host for a Business Networking Group, and they'll hook them to the right person.
Very good. Let's move over to Public Works. Utility bills. We've talked about this, keeping track of the certification process. How are we doing this week?
Well, it started at 407,000. It's down to 261,000. I do have to tell people out there that if they have that bill, they'll only get one letter, and it'll tell them when the fines will be imposed. And the longer you wait, the more the fines are. Come the 16th of November, we can no longer accept payment, and then it'll be certified on your taxes, which will even cost you more. So if you've got a delinquent water bill, you need to be paying that. What happens is we buy water from Minneapolis, and we ration it out and sell it to the citizens. Well, if you're using water and you're not paying for it, that means the rest of us are paying for it. So we get pretty diligent about collecting those bills, because you use the water, you're paying for it. So pay those bills if you could,
Very
please.
good advice. Let's move to Park and Recs. A lot going on and a lot coming up. First, what's been going on? Movies in the park. A little rain could not stop a big movie recently.
Well, Captain Marvel was going to play no matter what. So it started to drizzle, and our community development guy pulled, or our park and rec guy, pulled all the equipment underneath the canopy at the new theater, kind of got the people scrunched together, and they saw the movie in the drizzle. Captain Marvel strikes again. So on October 24th, they're going to show the Addams Family, which is kind of a Halloween thing. So they're encouraging the kids and the parents to dress up and come to the Halloween movie, the Addams Family. You do have to call and make reservations, and we want that because we need to know how many people are there so we can kind of spread them out so we can obey by the rules, and make sure you bring your kids and your masks and your blankets. It's probably going to be chilly.
All right, you can again find that information on the city's website to register for that big event. How about the golf course? How is the golf course doing as fall hits?
Beautiful. But one of the things that's happening is there's a lot of night golf happening. So last weekend, Friday and Saturday was night golf, and they put out these tiki torches and light them, and people wear little things around their necks, and the balls light up. It's just a riot to watch. So it's really dark out there because there's no other lights, and all of a sudden you'll hear a cheer because somebody must have hit a good round. But golf is still open. You have to call, make a tee time, because there's an awful lot of people playing, even if it's cold like this. But it is open, and the golf course is doing very well. The ice arena is still open, and we're kind of waiting for the high school hockey league
Right.
to tell us whether or not there's going to be high school hockey. But it's still open, and they're doing camps, and you can go online and look at what the camps are and the practices and just the games that are being played. We are restricting the people that are coming in, though, because of course of COVID, we can't let too many people come into the games.
Very good, understandable. And then we want to hop over to the Civic Center campus for just a moment. And you had a question or two about the flagpoles. Tell us about that.
Well, there's no American flag flying today. What I thought was the flag was tattered, and it was a little bit, but the real problem was the ropes on the flagpole needed to be fixed. Somehow they were not in right, or they were sticking or something. So the flag's down. It isn't that we're not patriotic. It's just they have to fix that. They have to get somebody out to do that, and then that flag will go back up.
Very good. And just down the street, people will notice, obviously, on a regular basis, the reader board along Xylon and 42nd. Tell us about some of the messages that are there now and some things people can do to get involved.
Actually, we have a lot of reader boards. There's one over by the ice arena too.
Yep.
So it should tell you things like the Hennepin County Housing Assistance, where to go. If you can't read it fast enough, you can always call City Hall and ask them, and they'll give you a little explanation. They're also talking about a theater musical camp that's happening, and I don't know the details of that, but it'll be on the reader board. So kind of lift up your eyes when you're stopped at the stoplight and see what's going on. And if you have a question, of course, call City Hall and somebody will help you.
All right, website at the bottom of the screen. Is that the same information also on the golf course reader board, or does that
Yes.
sometimes have different messages?
No, I think they're all the same.
Okay,
The
very
one at the
good.
golf course will tell you, though, intermittent when the tee times, how to get a tee time.
Got it. Very
And I'm
good.
sure the one at the ice arena will tell you how to contact the ice arena.
Exactly.
But the other stuff keeps coming too.
Very good. Other publications that are happening, we should let people know that they should be watching for the mail and watching online. Tell us about some of the things coming.
Well, they published something called the pipeline. It's just some information that's going on. But the pipeline goes in people's water bills, and not everybody gets a water bill. Like the apartment dwellers, a lot of them don't get a water bill.
Okay.
So they also do something called In Motion, and that is a list of all the things that are the camps and the seminars and just about everything that's happening in the city. Well, they're going to put that online now. So they'll need to go to the website and look at it online. That'll be the November one. What they decided to do with that, it's a lot quicker to change something because with COVID, things are changing daily. And we don't know if we're going to be able to have a camp or a seminar. And so by doing it online, you can just go and check and see if your camp or your event is actually going to happen. And we can do that quickly. When it's in print, you can't do it quite as quickly.
Understandable. In Focus Photo Contest, we want to give people an update. We've talked about it a few times that photographers should get their cameras out. What are the deadlines we should think about?
Well, with this smoky atmosphere we're in, the sunrises and the sunsets are absolutely beautiful.
True.
So the contest ends the 16th of October. So take your photos. You can download them and send to go on the website. It'll tell you where to send them. I believe they'll take 3 photos from each person. And then there'll be some judging by the public starting November 1st. So we'll be able to go online, see what's been submitted, and the public can, the People's Choice Award, they call it, the public will be able to vote on what they think is the best photos.
Very good. Hope people can get involved. Special event coming up possibly for the city to be featured through the power company. Tell us how this might work out.
Well, I heard from XL Energy that we, the city of New Hope, might be the centerfold in their new calendar that's coming out in 2021. They came and took pictures of our new city hall and police station and did some verbiage on that. And they're going to feature New Hope on their calendar. So look for the centerfold of New Hope on the XL Energy calendar.
Very neat. And I would guess that's highlighting some of the energy efficient things that happened through the construction of those 2 facilities. Is that correct? Yep. Very good. All right. Be watching for that. Final note, we want to talk about the farmers market continues on. How are things going at the market? And again, who are those special guests that are there?
So there's one last market that'll be on the 3rd of October. The vendors are there. Last week they still had corn, and they assured me that they would have corn again this week. Of course, some of the produce isn't showing up anymore, like the peas and the kale and things like that. But there is still produce. But the other thing that's exciting is there's vendors from the Cooper Craft Fair. And they're the craft vendors because the Cooper Craft Fair couldn't hold the event because it's inside. So last week there were about 20 vendors. This week they're looking at just a few more than that. That seems to be a real big draw, and it seems to be pretty popular. Dress warm though. And of course that market goes on rain or shine.
Very good.
But not lightning.
Yes, understandable. All right. A lot of information passed along today. Go to the city's website at the bottom of the screen, newhopemn.gov, to find out more and some of the things that are coming up in the near future. Mayor, thanks once again for your time. We will talk to you again soon.
Thanks, Dave.
Learn more about The Connection at ccxmedia.org and follow us on social media.